Three, two, one. Welcome to the SaaS Pulse Show. My name is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of SaaS Talent. And I am so excited today. I have an amazing guest, James Connor. He's the founder and CEO of FlexibleSites, which also has a cool product called Flexible Forms that he's going to tell you more about. He's right in Philly, so Philly guy, I love it. We didn't say if we were Eagles. We didn't ask if you're an Eagles fan, but
Oh, definitely.
definitely Eagles. There you go. There you go.
Mhm.
So it's great to have you on. You go by Jim, right? Jim, good.
Yes. You can call me Jim. Thanks a lot, Michael, for having me on the show, man. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's been awesome. We've done about 12 of these now, and it's really awesome. I recommend it for everybody. It's like a 30-minute meeting. It's unbelievable. So what I love to start with, Jim, is your superhero backstory. You actually kind of look like a superhero, just let you know, like with the head and stuff, like you're maybe evil,
Appreciate it.
evil superhero, right?
Uh,
But what's your superhero backstory? What got you to where you are? So flexible sites, flexible forms. How'd you get there?
yeah, so it's interesting. Basically, by the time I was 24, I had four kids, right?
Wow.
So for me, having four kids at such a young age, I had four mouths to feed, and with in order to get where I am now, I needed help, right? So I had, and there were little complications with my parents and stuff like that, but basically it was just me and the mother of my children. And at the end of the day, we needed support, and there were nonprofits, and there were programs, there were other things out there that got me through, kept me in college. I graduated with a bachelor's in computer science and a minor in chemistry. And from there, I just became a developer,
Awesome.
became an expert in my field. And eventually I, started doing my own thing, did consultancy and things of that nature. Now, so what happened is that I always wanted to be able to give back to nonprofits, right? At some point, I started volunteering with nonprofits. They would ask, "Hey, can we get some technical help?" Those kind of simple asks. The only
Yeah.
problem is that they would use kind of things like WordPress, and you would set it up, you would build it, and then you say, "Okay, here, I built this for you. Good, good luck." And 2 months later, they come, "Jim, I don't know what I did, but this
Right.
is the whole site's this." And it
Yeah.
was just so frustrating because you'd have to go back and try to figure out what did they do, what's going on, how did they get messed up. So eventually I just said, you know what, let's just create something that's easier. Let's just use a CMS. We'll have a developer team that just handles the front end and then all the look and feel and the structure. And then people just log into the CMS, they update the content, and then the content just shows up on the website. So
I
it's
love it.
very, very easy, very simple. And that's where flexible sites came to be born.
No, it's awesome. So yeah, flexible sites, and then you have this flexible forms. So what what was the so you said the inspiration, but what was the point in the superhero backstory where you're like, I need to do this? Do you remember like the point where you're like, oh gosh, I need to do this, right? What was there a specific instance or a story or a client or something like that?
No, I mean it was more of remembering where I came from and just
Hmm.
volunteering because like I said, I volunteer with the nonprofits. And at first I was just volunteering as like, okay, just show up, do what's asked, things like that. People would ask me, what do I do? And then they said, oh, well, we need a website, or we need help with our website, or we need help with our digital presence. No problem.
Yeah.
And so I just figured out that, nonprofits, they don't have a budget, so
Yeah.
let's find a ways for us to support them and at the same time be able to give them something that looks more professional, not just, Wix and Squarespace are great if that's what they need and they can afford, but there's sometimes where they sit there and say, okay, Jim, we're a team of two people and we have all these events going on and all this stuff. Neither of us have time to do Wix and Squarespace. Like we just want you to handle everything and we'll give you, we'll update the content when we can. Okay, no problem. So for us, it was a matter of coming to the point of saying, how can we make this simpler so that people can update their content, they can get their website look professional, and at the same time, they didn't have to worry about WordPress, they didn't have to worry about the hosting. They had a partner, they had somebody that they can reach out to, and that's what people want at the end of the day. A lot of nonprofit founders just want someone there they can call, send the email, Jim, there's something wrong. Can you fix this? Yep, no problem. Team's on.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. You pretty much already got into it. What I love about your business, just by talking to you, Jim, is the simplicity. I mean, it's like we build websites and we build them for nonprofits, right? It's great. So I definitely have some referrals for you. But in terms of just when you're talking to a nonprofit or someone's listening to this, maybe knows nonprofits, everybody knows a nonprofit. What's the elevator pitch? Like, so why should someone work with Flexible Sites? Give it in like 30 seconds. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, so basically, if you just need something more than just an informational website, go to Wix, go to Squarespace. They're great, right? If you have the time, you can go ahead and create a website, and it's only like $12 a month, right? It's cheap, it's within a good budget,
Yeah.
and it'll get the job done. But once you get to a point where you're like, okay, I don't have the time to build a website, or I need to do more things. I want to read in data somewhere. I need to do something, or we need to be able to handle event registration or something like that, right? There are plugins, and WordPress is an option, but basically for us, it's a matter of saying, okay, if you're a nonprofit, okay, and you don't have the funds, we can say $99 down, $99 a month. It's very simple. Pricing is very simple. It's very straightforward.
Love it.
And that's for nonprofits. We also do work with startups, small businesses, but obviously they can afford more money. So the other thing is that it's kind of like a pay it forward, right? So if you're a small business and you work with us, right, we charge a little bit more, but that charging of that pricing allows us to give that services back to nonprofits and be able to leverage the same team, but at the same time we're able to give back to nonprofits and say, okay, we're going to give you a bit of a discount because we have small businesses and startups that are almost like sponsoring their work for them.
Yeah, Mike, you kind of led me to my next question. I was just curious. So 99, I mean, I love it. 99.99 a month. Anybody listening to this right now? I mean, he does websites. He does them for $99 down 99 a month. It's like it doesn't get any simpler, Jim.
Yeah.
What do you do for what do you do? Like you said, what's the deliverables for 99 down and 99 a month? Like, what do you like? Do they get? Because I know there's like a lot of design agencies that are pitching like, oh, you see these things, they give us $500 a month, we'll do unlimited designs, right, or something like that. So are you giving updates, like, or what are they getting for that?
Yeah, so basically we have a set number of templates that they can just choose, and then they say, okay, we work with them, what's the color palette, things like that. And basically it's like having the shell of a house, a pre-built house, right? And then you say, okay, Jim, I want to put a bathroom in the kitchen. Okay, no problem. We'll just move that component and put it to wherever they want, some component that they want that's on the about page, they want to move it to the home page. We can move things around, we can make it look how they want, but the content is theirs. At the end of the day, right, the website structure is usually the same. If you look at some websites, the images and the content, the text is what makes a website really come to life. We can make a lot of revisions. The revisions, it's not like we're saying it's unlimited, but we're saying like, look, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to be like 10 pages. We're not going to like 100. We can do a 100-page website if you want, but the pricing changes, right? We sit there and say, okay, you want to add more pages other than 10? Okay, no problem. It's a very affordable rate. You have a development team that's available for you. We'll say, okay, the hourly rate is whatever it is, but depending upon if you're a small business, if you're a nonprofit, but it's going to be within their budget and we can work with them. But at the same time, we want them to be able to say, okay, you have a partner, you're going to have a very professional website, and at the same time, it can grow with you. It can get as complex as you want. If you want to integrate something into HubSpot or another third-party library, or if you just sit there and say, Jim, we want to add this form that's very dynamic and things like, and that's kind of why we built Flexible Forms, because a lot of our customers said, we want this form that does this and does this and does that. And we would refer them to other form builders, but at the same time, they would have to pay, whatever subscription model it was. And we said, okay, look, we're going to build you out the form. This form is going to be dynamic. You can have whatever form you want in our services. We'll give you 10,000 submissions for free since you're a customer. And if you want another 10,000 submissions, it's $25. So it's very simple. So basically Flexible Forms was born out of Flexible Sites.
Yeah, one company to check out, Jim, I want to refer you to. So my first podcast was with a company called Morphic. So basically, They are a no-code uh, website builder.
Mhm.
And yeah, no, I mean, his story was like his pitch was you don't need designers. He's basically like he's using AI to build it. So yeah, check out Morphic. I could refer you to them.
Okay,
But yeah, it's cool.
definitely.
You get start to see synergies with the show here of how you could help people. So in terms of your challenges, right? So you've been in business, looks like a little over 4 years with flexible
Mhm.
sites and flexible forms. What have been your biggest challenges you faced, top challenges, and how did you overcome them?
So getting to the point where we could build so when we say $99 down, $99 a month, right? You're talking about we have a template that, components that already exist. So it was building that library of components
Hmm,
that was what was the most challenging because we have upfront costs, right?
yeah,
And then we just want to make sure, okay, as long as you're happy, you're going to stay with us.
right.
If you're not happy, then you're going to leave and we're going to lose money on the upfront costs. But at the same time, it's going to be flexible. The designs are there already. We also, if they have designers, we have a lot of people that we work with that actually have designers. They sit there and say, Jim, we got someone that has a design here. Okay. An example is that Little Red Fashion. Little Red Fashion is a nice little startup that we worked with. They had a book that they wanted to promote, and it's a nice educational website, but they had a specific design in mind. So they worked with a designer to put that together. And then we just
Nice.
built, we
Yep.
built the front end based on that design and then went from there. So we're as the name says, flexible sites, we're very flexible. It's just
Yeah.
working with, at the end of the day, we're trying to work with people, organizations, and just solve their problem without them having to pay $50,000 for a website, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Jim, I love it. I mean, in terms of all the podcasts I've had, I don't think the what you do, the value proposition and the pricing, it's super clear. Like it's unbelievably clear. So kudos to you. So next
Appreciate
question, just talent acquisition, like talent in general,
it.
recruiting. How do you approach that for your organization? So what's important to you when it comes to talent? How do you look at that? Where's your talent located? Like all those different things.
Okay, yeah, so we have talent all over the place. Being a developer myself, I've worked with countless developers and they've heard my pitch. They've seen, my lifestyle and stuff like that as a kind of a digital nomad where I've lived in different countries and stuff like that. And they're like,
Love
Jim,
that.
I want your life, like, how do I do the same thing? So those I say, okay, let's, you find a project, we work on it together. But I've also worked with a lot of other, developers from other countries, Latin America. If I really, we have a couple of people that we reach out to. Michael Bertoni definitely is one person that we want to reach out to and get more
Nice.
people in for talent and things like that. So
Love it.
appreciate those kind of leads. But yeah, we have people that kind of, they hear about what we're working on. And it's funny that some people will reach out to me and say, Jim, I heard from such and such that you worked on a project and it was really nice to work with you. And so I'm interested. If you're looking for someone, give me a. So I have this list of all these people I've reached out over the years, and we just check
Yeah.
off like, okay, what are you doing? What are we looking for? So I mean, from mobile applications to AI to web, there's a lot of different freelancers that I have in my network that at the end of the day, even if I sit there and say, we're not going to be working on a project, I can refer someone that I'm talking to and say, oh, okay, you were specializing in AI and you need an AI dev. Okay, well, I have two people that are in, based on the budget that you're looking for and your time zone requirements. These are two people that are available, and then I refer them to. So I mean, it's really interesting that if you're
Yeah.
in this industry long enough, you'll meet a lot of people that just come to you and just say, as long as you're willing to listen, you just reach out to them.
No, I love it. I love it. So last question here. You've been a founder, you're running your own company. It's really cool. Looks for at least 10 years, it looks like.
Mhm.
Biggest piece of advice that you can give to other startup founders listening to this, uh, for early stage founders, for people like yourself or people listening that are trying to get into this. What's
Mhm.
two or three biggest piece of advice you can give them?
Um, well, if you're a startup founder, right, the first thing you want to do is you want to validate your idea. And, I always, when I talk to a lot of startup founders, I always ask them, about the mom test. It's a great book. It
Hmm.
talks about how to validate an idea without spending a whole bunch of money.
Right.
The other part is that at the beginning, yeah, you're going to wear a lot of hats once you validate the idea, right? You're going to be doing a lot of different things. You're going to be doing sales, you're going to be doing marketing, you're going to do all this. But you want to get to a point where you can start finding people along the way that you can delegate things to. So like for me, I work with a lot of startups. I'm a virtual CTO. So as a fractional CTO, I work with a lot of startups, for a set amount of hours per month.
Mhm.
And we're just working together, right? Because it does get lonely as a solopreneur where you're trying to build something. You want to kind of, just bang ideas out with someone else or, just converse. So for me, it's a matter of finding someone that they don't have to be a fat co-founder with you, but find someone that you can work with,
Sure.
that's done it a little bit before, had their own startup, maybe a mentor. But, if you're looking for someone that's filling the gaps for you, basically, that's great because then you build that up and then you can sit there and you can delegate some of that work. It allows you to focus on things that as a team, both of you can go ahead and start moving that needle forward. So for me, it's a matter of finding those people that fill the gaps, making sure you trust them, build up a nice relationship, and then go from there. And then after that, then it's all about building up relationships, from prospective customers, reaching out, making sure to be authentic. So
Awesome. So Jim, it's been an awesome show. I mean, I could tell you'd be a great fractional CTO for startups because what's cool is you could get them into their brand like right away as well. Like help them build their brand and get them out there. But it's been awesome having you on the show and looking forward to getting together with you and following you, getting together in Philly. So thanks a lot again for being on the show.
Michael, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me, sir.
Awesome.